The drive, the grit, the determination. This is what everyone is here for. This is the title that all the best players around the world come to fight for. Welcome everyone to the 2026 MXS Supercross preview show. I am your host Evan Holte here with my co-host Luke Scheffler. And today we're going to be getting into some bench racing and talking about this upcoming Supercross season. One of the reasons we thought we should do this is because, we thought people would enjoy this. I think myself, I love racing, whether that's Supercross, MXGP, downhill mountain biking, MotoGP, and that includes sim. I enjoy watching sim. I'd be a shitty-ass spotter because I don't watch my guy. I just watch the lead and see how everyone's battling. So, I think people would really appreciate us kind of talking about this upcoming season and how we think it's going to play out. And also, last year, in Sully's 12-hour live stream, Sully, Kellen, and I think it was Heckman, they did like a press conference. And I heard from everyone that was involved that they actually really enjoyed it. They thought it was fun. At the end of the day, it is a game, but it's fun to take it kind of seriously, pretend it's professional. And at the end of the day, these are the best racers in the world at this video game. So kind of have to give them their props and, do a little fun show talking about them. And with that, we'll just get right on into it. We'll start with our defending champion Colby Egeland, who in 2025 kind of had the season he's been hoping for a few years. In 2022, he was third in the championship. Same with 2023, 2024, he was second. So just kept on getting better until 2025. He got the title that he was looking for. So with that was Colby's third championship. He has two 250 Easts and a 450 Supercross. He has 9 wins and 31 podiums as well, so he's got a good career going. His year, basically, to kind of sum it all up, he was the most consistent guy. He had one race outside the top 10, which was the lowest amount of compared to anyone else on this list. So, you got to give Colby props for that. He minimized the risk with having the least bad rounds compared to his title rivals. And that kind of got it done for him. 2 wins. He won Glendale and East Rutherford. Glendale was a triple crown. Colby's won a bunch of triple crowns. Not really surprising that he got that one. And then East Rutherford, late in the season when he needed a win to stretch that points lead, he got it done. 9 podiums, 12 top 5s. Again, like his consistency really shined through. And basically kind of won him that championship when all of his others couldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, he's the Cooper Webb type thing. He's gonna be there every round. Every round, he's not gonna win many races, like he said. He only won 2 out of 17. Right, it's not a great percentage, but he was on the podium over half the time. Right, so 9 out of 17 rounds. I mean, if you're there, right, he's only losing, 3 or 5 points every round. So whenever Carter or someone has a bad round, he can gain, 15 points. I mean, that it makes everything up for it. So, he's just super consistent. He doesn't win a lot of races, but the races he does win, right, it's 4 triple crowns out of those 9 race wins. Like the one race, format that we do that, rewards consistency, he does a great job in. And so that's really where he's going to gain his spots. This year, right, I don't think that he is going to be – he's not the title favorite in my opinion. I'm just going to be very honest. He's got the speed. He's got everything, but I just don't think that he's the guy to beat this year. He has number 1 plate. Reminds me of Cooper Webb a lot in that sense. But, he's just got to be consistent. He can't lose races. He can't lose a series too early and just stay in the fight and wait for some fireworks to happen to the other guys.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't know if he's the favorite going into this year. I wouldn't say that. Even another kind of fun detail, in 2025, I'm pretty sure it was his first full year in third person. So up until, I think, 2024 Outdoors, Colby Egeland's been a first-person player, and I think 24 Outdoors he started playing some third person. And then, I think 2025 he went third person full-time, got that championship. You don't really hear guys completely changing the game up and then winning a title there next year, especially the hardest title to win in this game. So props to Colby. But yeah, like I wouldn't say he's the title favorite, even though he's the defending champion. I just don't think his drive to win the title will be there compared to his competitors. Like he's had some bad luck in the past when it comes to winning these titles. So now that he's got it, I think he's kind of relieved. As of now, I think he'll be happy that he's got a title and he doesn't feel kind of that hunger to defend it. Where guys like everyone else on this list, like Carter, Shirley, Carr, Leclair, they all want to win their first or another title. So I just don't think the drive's going to be there. And he hasn't been playing much. He hasn't been practicing, hasn't been doing off-season races. He's kind of expressed that he doesn't have a lot of interest in sim, just kind of talking to him and people that are talking to him. But like he'll still be good. Like he'll still be a top 5 guy. I think he'll get, like 2 wins, like 1 to 2 wins. He'll be on podiums. But yeah, like title-wise, I just don't think he's going to... I don't think he's showed enough that he wants to defend. I think he might just take a year just to hang around, maybe 2027 when he doesn't have that number 1 plate. He'll want to try and get it back.
Yeah, maybe it was on that Cooper Webb timing, win, lose,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, he's just super consistent. I mean, it is weird though, because I feel like first person's more helpful in Supercross than motocross. So the fact he switched and then won the Supercross title is definitely interesting. But I mean, like I'm looking like the race that he won at East Rutherford. He was half a second a lap slower than almost everyone. That was like full second slower than Carr, but he just didn't make mistakes. He won by 15. Like that's how he's gonna win races. And that's the kind of the motto is when he gets in the back of the pack, he doesn't rush things. He just kind of picks his way apart. He settles for a 5th. I mean, 6th. Whatever he wants, he just kind of settles for that. And then when he has a chance to win, he takes advantage of it and hopes that everyone else has bad rounds.
Yeah, like we were talking about off camera, 0 anchor awards. Like he never fades back. He always stays up there. All right. So yeah, with that, we'll get into our next rider, and a rider who I think we both tout very highly for this 2026 season. It's going to be Braden Carter, your 4-time and not quite defending champion, although it's been that way his entire career. He's won every single 450 Supercross title since he's turned pro. And he has a 250 SX championship to go along with that. So he's got 5 championships, 33 Supercross wins, first all time. Pretty impressive. 56 podiums. And yeah, so I would say he's the GOAT of Supercross in MX Simulator. And it's not definitely proven it. And yeah, in 2025, he did have his worst career, the worst season of his career. And it's kind of crazy. Like you'd kind of think that, I think Tyson has 4 titles. So like getting that 5th title, you'd kind of break that record and really be by yourself. But he had 5 races outside the top 10. Like that is absolutely insane. And even to be in the championship with 5 races outside the top 10, like that kind of shows that when he's on it, like he can put in really good rides. But yeah, he's kind of both ends of the spectrum where he's either dominantly winning or kind of falling apart. Yeah, those 5 races definitely cost him. Like he had 5 wins. He won both Anaheims. He won Anaheim 1 for the 4th time in a row. That's a pretty impressive stat. And then won Tampa, Daytona, Indianapolis. So he didn't win another race after round 9, which is pretty crazy when you need to be clutch towards the end to wrap up that title. He wasn't able to do that. 8 podiums, 11 top 5s. Again, good stats. I think 1 less than Colby Egeland, so it just shows that consistency wasn't there. But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty bad season from Carter. I mean, he was close to the title, but still, like, this was his worst season points-wise. I think he scored 321 points. Or no, he scored like 318 points, and his worst season until 2025 was 2021, where he scored 321. So, and yeah, in comparison as well, his best season was in 2024 or 3. It was one of them where he scored 390.
23, yeah.
23, yeah. So a full 80 points down of his best season, like, really shows how much he struggled. But because of that, I think he's gonna be a dog this year in 2026. I I think he's going to be hungry to get the number 1 plate back. I think not having it, like, he's a very competitive person. I think kind of like a guy like Cooper Webb. Like, he's going to be super competitive and is going to want it back, that he's going to try his ass off to make it happen.
Yeah, Carter is, I'm looking right here, and he wins the titles, but he doesn't, like, every year there's always been someone close to him, except for I think 23 when he's kind of ran away with it. Like every year, like he gets close, but he just like finds a way late in the season to make things happen. And this last year was the first time where, like you said, like late in the season, he just didn't have it. I mean, 2 of the last 4 rounds, 10, right? Like that's, I mean, that's where he lost the title. Colby wins and he gets 16th. I mean, that's a huge point swing. But yeah, he's gonna bounce back. I mean, the off-season races that he's done, the Boots House series, just dominant. I mean, he came out, won every main but one. They did like the one-on-one stuff, the bracket racing. He was dominating that. I mean, he looks like he is pissed and he's gonna like take it out on the rest of the field. The one thing that really hurt him last year that he's got to kind of work on is, he gets a little too like caught up in the moment. Like he gets into some takeout battles with people, or he switched his team because he didn't like the bike model, but he was leading the points. So like stuff like that where it's like, I feel like he knows the program. He's just got to stick to it. He's got to take a page out of Colby's book and just, hey, sometimes you're gonna get 4th. Like that's gonna happen. And if you can have 5 wins and 2 4th places, like you're gonna win the title. But you can't have 5 wins and then 3 races outside the top 10 and expect to give yourself 5 races outside the top 10 and expect to win the title. The fact he was even in it is crazy, because I'm looking at the other seasons, like Leclair usually puts up 350 plus points, stuff like that. So the fact he was in it with that little point just shows, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think he's got to kind of control his emotions when it's going badly. Like I think to just some of his races where he's back in the pack and he's just crashing and getting into takeout battles, and even like what kind of stands out was the last 2 races at Denver and SLC. There was many times he was ahead of Colby Egeland by quite a margin, and he just crashed his way back there, and he just couldn't handle the pressure, which is so weird coming from a 4-time in a row champion, that he would be making mistakes like that and kind of looking like a rookie. Like he had a worse season than his rookie season. So, but I think that'll go away. I think when you win 4 titles in a row and you're on your 5th, you're kind of so used to winning, you're almost like, well, what can go bad? It's going to happen anyways. Where now he kind of knows the risk of messing around that much, because he doesn't have that number 1 play anymore. And I think he's going to be super determined to get that back.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking right here at the stats. I mean, 5 wins, 3 podiums. I mean, it feels like at that point it's kind of win or bust.
Yeah.
Like he's winning, he's on the tops of the podium, or he's just not on it.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
If he can just get a couple of 3rd places, especially with how deep the field is this year, I mean, I don't know, he could win 5, 6 races, right? But even if he wins 4 races and has 10 podiums, right? Like he's gonna win the title.
Yeah.
So if he can just accept sometimes it's not gonna go your way, then he's got the title wrapped up. But if he keeps getting involved in some small incidents and trying to race people hard, having the number 1 on your bike, it gives you people respect that, right? Like they see the number 1 coming through the pack, they're not gonna race you the same. But now having the number 2, I mean, who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, the next guy we'll talk about is a guy who's definitely sick of not winning a title, because he's got a 5-year long streak of being on the podium in the championship, but still not getting that illustrious title. It's Alexis Leclair. He's a 6-time champion. He has a 450 SX title in 2018, and then 5 450 outdoor titles. That is a crazy stat. He's the greatest of all time. He's the GOAT of MX Simulator with 62 wins. That's the most of anybody. I'm pretty sure by quite a long shot. I'm pretty sure second has 40 wins or something like that. In Supercross, he's got 25 wins. That's third all time. I think he's a few behind Tyson. And yeah, 81 podiums. Like 81 podiums is absolutely ridiculous. That's crazy how it just shows his experience and his consistency in recent years. And you'd think with all that success, he'd be more than a single time Supercross champion, but it just hasn't panned out that way. And it's kind of like the same pattern every year for Leclair, where he'll have his strong points, and then he'll have his points where he's kind of falling off. I think this year he kind of maybe fell off more than in previous years. I think previous years, kind of like 2022, 2023, you can kind of point to it as his competition, like a Carter, was just like that fast that he was getting like top fives, not outside the top 10, like almost every single weekend, and it still wasn't enough. But this year, like, he had a good start. You know, he got a podium at A1, just outside the podium spot, A2, and he had the red plate for round 3, and then just kind of, had like a little bit of a mid-season lull at Arlington. I think he went 1:15.1 or something like that. Like, he was close to getting wins. He was showing like that he had the speed, but just making other mistakes. He didn't get his first win until round 13. Which is pretty far into the season, where I almost feel like Leclair kind of starts off strong in most seasons. He starts off strong, he keeps the red plate for a few rounds, then he starts to kind of lose steam as the year goes on, but it actually was the opposite, because he won round 13, 16, and 17, so kind of dominated the end of the year. 7 podiums, 10 top fives. He had one race outside the top 10, and then he missed one main. And the one thing about this missed main, it was Tampa. Shout out Ben Nerona. But he missed Tampa, and if he made that main at Tampa and won it, that would have been 25 points, and he would have been your 450 Supercross champion, because he finished 25 points down of Colby Egeland at the end, and he would have won off tiebreakers. So I think he kind of went under the radar this year for how close he actually was. I think not many people didn't even realize he might have missed a main. I think people might have forgot about that, and then to look up and see he's only 25 points down. Like, he's always in the fight, it's weird from Leclair, because he's been so close so many times. You'd think that luck would just go his way one year and he'd get that championship, but that hasn't been the case.
Yeah, I mean, he's an outdoor merchant, 100%. But he's also just like he's the biggest anomaly in MXM. Like, especially from like the English speaking side of the game, because obviously he's French. He doesn't speak a lot of English. So I'm sure all of the French guys he probably talks to a little bit or whatever, and they know what to expect. But for us, like, we don't really talk to him a lot, Like, I didn't even know he was racing until you put him on the list. I fully expected him to be like, oh, well, I guess it's over. But
and we can confirm that Leclair is racing. I asked him if he was racing, so I knew whether or not to put him in this video, and he said, yes, I go bark. So that was his response to that. So yeah, we can confirm that he's racing.
Yeah, like, I mean, and stuff like that. Like, he just, obviously he cares about the game, but like the way he plays is, I mean, he might just be a pocket grinder. He might just be sneak grinding this whole time, but he doesn't hop in 04. He doesn't, do anything. You just kind of see him. Like, he'll go in 04 about 2 to 3 days before the season starts, and you'll be like, oh, he's looking good. Yeah, well, it looks like he's getting dialed for this season then. Yeah. He's going to be ready. A1, dude, I think he goes 15 of 17 if he's in. I mean, this is 10 times earlier than normal.
Yeah.
But, like, he's always going to be there. And, like, I look back at the old standings, and every year he took Carter down to the final round, like, every single year that he got second. It wasn't like Carter won and then it was final round. Like, he kept the championship alive as long as possible. So he's got the crazy speed. I mean, he's the GOAT. He's changed the way the game is played, right? You got to stop and change your setup because of him.
Yeah, he's like the Tfue. He's the Tfue of Sim.
Oh, 100%. Like, and he's like Tfue, except he's won titles. Like, he finds ways to win. Like, I mean, 5 outdoor titles, all-time hole shot leader. What else? Second most laps raced, only behind the GOAT Devin Davis. But he has the most laps led by over double what Carter has, and he has a higher laps led percentage right? So that means 1 in every 5 laps he's racing. So 20% of the time he's leading. Carter's only leading about 17% of the time. So like that's just, I mean, unbelievable. The fact that he can do it like that for so long and just be that dominant. Like there are just records he has that are never going to be broken. Um, so it's hard to like say I don't think he's going to win the title, but it's just I just don't know what to expect with him. Like I just genuinely don't. You know, he doesn't even run his team name anymore. He just shows up. He runs a new crypto every week. He just does what he wants and he gets the job done. If he wins the title, am I gonna be, I'm probably gonna be a little surprised, but I'm not gonna be like, wow, I didn't see that guy. Like I can, he he's got. I mean, he's most experienced. He's got the speed. It's just what's gonna happen. What's his lag bubble like? Does he get suspended for lag? Last year he was one protest away. Like there's so many questions. I don't know what to do with him.
Yeah, I agree. Like he could have won the title because he's been so close. He wins that main at Tampa, and he is the champion. But yeah, I mean, if he also has a season kind of like in 2024 where Braden Carter wraps it up three rounds early, he could be like fourth or fifth with how stacked this class is going to be. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think he'll get some wins. Hopefully he'll start off strong, just to kind of spice it up again. And I think Leclair, like for the past 5 years that Sim's been around, like since 2021, like he's kept it genuinely interesting. Like the championships have been interesting to watch and to see if he's gonna catch Carter or if Carter's gonna stay ahead of him. And yeah, I hopefully he brings that this year because I think there's other guys like him that will, I'd say he's more of a consistency guy. Like he's still fast, but he can have good races in a row. And I think there's other guys out there like that. So hopefully he can be one of those guys that kind of is part of like a multi-rider battle for this championship.
Yeah, I mean, and another thing, right, is he's gonna get the start. I mean, there's a reason why he is the all-time whole shot leader, right? Him and Carter are always gonna start up front. Um, and that's honestly probably the biggest reason why he's in the championship fight for so long is because, I mean, if you start up front, right, it's so much easier to race because, even if you start, in like 10th place, the guys in 9th, 8th, 7th, I mean, those are all, regional 250 champions usually. Like the depth in this class is unreal. But if you can start in 2nd and 3rd and just stay with that front group, it makes it so much easier to win. So I feel like that really helps him. Because, I mean, like you said, 3 wins, 7 podiums, 10 top 5s. I mean, he's top 5 half the races. So if he can just, maybe get a couple more top 5s and one more win, like, yeah, he's definitely up there.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we'll move on to the next guy who I think is going to be someone very interesting to watch and see how he does this year. And that's going to be Seth Carr. This is your new Payson Johnson, your new Rush Chapman, your new guy that is just the fastest person with fingers to ever touch this game. Like, just puts down insane fast laps, whether that's in qualifying, whether that's after the race is done, or even in the race, going seconds faster than guys, whether that's in outdoors or Supercross. Like, he's that quick. He's your defending 450 MX champion from 2025. He also won the SMX championship. So he didn't have the greatest showing in his rookie season in Supercross. He finished 9th in points, and he had 2 wins, which was good. He won this at his, technically, you could say his first ever 450 race. I mean, in Sim, when you're 250, you can do the other coast. That's kind of the norm. So no one ever really wins on their debut. But if you don't count that, then yeah, he won his first ever 450 race in San Diego. And then, yeah, followed it up by missing the main when he was still in the title hunt. Everyone had a really bad week in San Diego, and he's only 14 points down and missed the main. So that kind of put an end to his title hopes. And then he won later in the year at Birmingham, one of the Triple Crowns. He had a really good battle with Carter, and I think one of those races, Seabolt as well. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to do. I know last year he said, and I quote, I don't like SX, or I don't care about SX, but come MX time and let's go. So, I don't really want to put a whole lot of importance on the 2025 season, just because he kind of said he didn't really want to sweat Supercross that hard. He doesn't find it as enjoyable as MX. And then outdoors, he dominated. He won 8 out of 11 overalls, which is pretty crazy. You know, there's races where he'd win by like 30, 40 seconds or something like that. I'm pretty sure at Millville he won by 67 seconds or something like that. It was pretty crazy. So he's definitely got the speed. Yeah, exactly. He's definitely got the speed. Just kind of talking to him, he says he's more locked in for Supercross. You know, even my teammate BT said that, you know, he's kind of, people have called him an outdoor merchant, and he doesn't really want to hear that. So he's locked. He's gonna go for this title. And I think if the fastest guy is gonna take it seriously, he's a dangerous threat. And I think, like, I don't know how his speed shapes up and compares to one like Payson Johnson, but one thing about Seth is he's not gonna try and look cool and pretend he doesn't care. Like, he does want to win. So I think he's going to race more serious and try and have better results than someone like Payson, and therefore I think he's like a legit threat for this title. Like, I think, like, I put him next to Carter. I still think Carter's the favorite, but I'd say flip a coin between those two. I think when he's on it, he's insanely fast. You know, at MX and Nations, everyone got an hour on the track, and then I think the last moto, you know, when people had more time on it, there's like a few laps out there when he was going like 4 or 5 seconds faster than anyone else. Like, it was just ridiculous. And if someone's able to do that, like, they're able to get wins under their belts. And like, the other thing too, we'll have to see if it translates in Supercross, and depends on the setup. But in outdoors, he was literally pulling every hole shot. Like, he would just hole shot the race and was gone, and no one would even touch him or sniff him. So if he can do that in Supercross, like, I think if you have a Carr and Carter, like, 1-2 start, like, that might be the race of the century, because those two, I think those two, especially Carter, knows that Seth is the fastest in the game, and I don't think he likes that people are calling him that or kind of hyping him up, because I think Carter truly believes he's the best Supercross player. So I think if you get those in a 1-2, it's going to be a crazy race, because they're both going to want to beat each other really badly.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, for me, it's Tomac versus Jet, right? I mean, watching Carr on the bike in game, like, the way he's able, like, you know, like the joke is he has perfect lean angles, right? Like, he's so smooth on the bike, right? Like, the 450 suits him really well, which you can see in the fact that he only won one 250 Supercross, and in his first season, he won 2 on the 450 class, right? It's like, I mean, the 450 really suits him. And it might be like San Diego, where you get those two out front. It might be some experience versus speed. The only thing, though, with Carr is, you know, last year I think he had to learn that it's a lot harder to make passes in the 450 class, especially on these, you know, Supercross tracks. Because in the 250 class, when you're in the back of the pack versus, you know, some guys who, you know, you're probably 1 to maybe even 2 seconds a lot faster than, it's a lot easier to make that pass for 10th, 11th, right? But when you get into like the 450 class, I mean, everyone there is probably at least not necessarily a regional champion, but they're a top guy. You may only be half a second a lot faster. So you can't really force a pass. You kind of almost got to wait for it. And I feel like last year that really hurt him, because when he got the start, I mean, he's gone. Like, he is just out of there. But if he starts in the back of the pack, he just struggles. You know, he kind of almost tries to force it a little too much. And I feel like that's Carter's biggest advantage, is the fact that I feel like Carter does a really good job most of the time at picking his way around riders and not getting into trouble, right? Even though last year that is what hurt him. But like, normally that's where he kind of gets his titles from.
Yeah, there's times where he crashes off the start and he's like 8th at the end of lap 1 or something like that. Like, he makes up work pretty quick, whether that's just luck or just being able to kind of navigate easier. He makes his way through the pack really easily.
Yeah, like, so Carr, I mean, he's the fastest guy, right? Like you said, I don't think anyone, like, if they say they're faster than him, like, I mean, I get it, like, self-pride or whatever, but I mean, we got to be realistic here. I mean, the guy rips. If there was, you know, a hot lap competition, right? 17 rounds, he wins 13 of them. You know, like, and I mean, he shows it. He cares, right? Like, if he doesn't top qualify in an MPH race, like, you'll see the the YouTube video of him running a hot lap that's 2 seconds faster than top quality the next day. Like he wants everyone to know like he's the best guy, right? He had the 2 no shows last year. One obviously he couldn't show up out of his hands, and then the 2 missed mains. Like that's the kind of thing where sometimes I feel like he tries to win every race, even if it's just a heat race. Instead of like being like, hey, I'm in 7th, right? Like he just tries to push and get up to like, 2nd or 3rd, and then he crashes, goes back to 10th, and then he gets stuck back there with some questionable riders and, ruins his night. So if he just accepts the fact that he's the fastest, I mean, he's easily a title threat. But yeah, he's just got to learn that. Got to learn how to be patient, right? Outdoors, it's a lot easier to make passes on people that you're faster than because there's so many more line choices. I mean, when we're playing the RF slot car championship, it's really hard to just either got to move some out the way, wait for them to crash, or just bark past them to whoops. I mean, that's really the way it is in that class. So he's got to really wait and be patient this year.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how serious he takes it and if he's really going to try and go for this championship. Because if he does, I think we're going to have really good – it's going to be really fun to watch just to see how he battles with everyone out there. And yeah, for our last rider for the show, we'll talk about someone who kind of had a sneaky good rookie season that I think people kind of forget about, and that's Seth Shirley. I think some people might not say he deserves to be in the show, but I think he does. For his rookie season, he had 2 wins, 7 podiums, he had and 3 fastest qualifiers too, so he showed that he had some speed. But what stands out to me is I think he had 4 podiums, no 3 podiums the first 4 races, or he was just off the podium at Glendale. But his first few races of the year, he showed he had consistency. He was up there. I mean, he had a bad race at San Diego, so that kind of hindered him to really be to have the red plate for those first few rounds. But he showed that he had consistency, and then he won Seattle and Foxborough. Those were back to back, and he was in the title with Carter before the whole Philly debacle. Before that happened, yeah, he was in the title. So again, another rider where even though he has 3 fastest qualifiers, I wouldn't say in the race he's a speed guy. He kind of does his. I heard some people say he just rides like Shirley, where he kind of just not rides around, but he's able to ride without taking the risk. So he'll short a rhythm or something, and instead of going for it to kind of keep that time, he'll double out, go double single or something instead of tripling out, which is a good thing because it takes the risk out of it. Why lose 7 seconds when you can lose a few tenths? But it can also come to hurt him. In one of the Boots House races this year, I think it was the first one in Miami. In the main event, he had a really good jump and had a really good start, and then he was kind of getting pinched off by a guy to his inside and a guy to his outside, but he was he had enough speed and enough opening going into the corner that he would have had the whole shot, and he just backed off so early just to be so cautious, and it ended up having someone hit him, and instead of being first, he maybe came out 8th or something. So stuff like that, I think it can hurt him being too cautious. Also, you kind of, this game, there's no physical risk factor. So if you're kind of messing up a rhythm and you're taking the safe route out, you're more prone to having people landing on you. So that's also part of that risk. But I understand why he does it. I think all of us kind of wish we could have that factor in us a bit when we're racing, that we don't take those risks. And so yeah, it's a positive and a negative. But I think he'll be good this year. I think he'll win some races. I think he'll stay in the championship. Because he did that in his rookie season. And yeah, I'm excited to see how he does.
Yeah. One thing, I feel like Shirley is, slept on, yes, but I feel like it's just how everyone calls Carr an outdoor merchant. Everyone calls Shirley the 250 merchant. He was obviously very dominant on the 250, still is when he does it. And he really wants to get rid of that title. He's told me this offseason, he's tired of being called the 250 guy. He wants to win a 450 NA title at Supercross, motocross, right? He just wants to win one so people stop referring to him as the 250 guy. And I guess that's his chip, right? But I feel like everyone has a chip this year except for Colby, right? But yeah, he takes the risk out. He is, I don't know if Leclair rides IRL, but I feel like Shirley's the only one that kind of rides pretty competitively IRL, and he rides in sim like it. Like you say, he takes out the risk. It's like he'll do anything to not crash, even though you don't get any pain from crashing. Like it's just kind of how he rides. Um, and if there's a line like at A2 last year where, it might be 2/10, 3/10 slower to double in, but hey, there's no chance you're gonna crash doing that.
Yeah.
He'll do it every lap.
Yeah, but then going back to the risk reward factor, I'm tripling in first lap, nearly landing on him. Like, Shirley, what are you doing? Like, yeah,
Yeah,
it can
like
go both ways.
that's the thing. And then you got the inside at Las Vegas and SMX, right? He didn't want anyone to risk passing him up the inside. So like he's gonna find those weird quirky lines and he's gonna do it. 3 fastest qualifiers. He has speed, right? I think realistically this year he's probably the 3rd or 4th fastest guy on a Supercross track. I think it's between him and Leclair for 3rd. I think he's slightly faster than Colby, but I think Carr won, Carter too. So he's not going to win races on pure speed, and you can see that he had 2 wins and 7 podiums. So he did a really good job at just accepting, like, hey, I'm not going to win tonight. I'll take my 2nd or my 3rd.
Like 7 podiums is 1 less than Carter and 2 less than Colby. Like that's really good. Like I don't think people actually realize like how many podiums he got.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, the reason why, or like you said at Philly, right? He misses the main, and the reason why Kellen was going crazy was because at that time Kellen was hyping it up as Carter versus Shirley. No one really was. I mean, Colby was still in it, obviously, but no one was really thinking about that. And so, like, he was in the title fight. What was that, round 14? So he was in the title until literally 4 to go. So yeah, he's gonna be there late in the season. And it just depends, right? Can he lock in? I mean, I'm looking at his MPH records right now. Besides one of the rounds, he's finished 1st or 2nd every round. So like he's gonna be close there. He beat Carter in the last round, and Carter was half a second a lap faster. He just got a good start and didn't crash. So I feel like that's the MO for a lot of people this year. But really for him and Colby, if they can just get starts, stay up and stay consistent, I mean, they give themselves a chance. I mean, it's not their title to win, in my opinion, but if they give themselves a shot, man, anything can happen in this series.
The other thing that helps Shirley is like as much as it's seen as an insult in this game, like he does care about it. He cares about every race he does. He races quite often to kind of get that practice in. So like even if stuff's going bad, like he has a bad round or something the week before, he's gonna care about that next round almost like the previous one didn't even happen. So he's gonna care about like his success, and I think that'll help him in the championship because, he's gonna be determined to win every race, to win every title that he's in. So that's gonna be a factor to help him out as well.
Yeah, I mean, and another thing, right, I like about him as well is he posts usually posts all of his VODs, right? And it's just so funny because like I'll see him hitting the lines, right, on like the 450, 250, and then I hit it. I feel like I'm riding just as smooth, and the lap time's 2 seconds faster. Like I don't see how he does it, but like him not pushing, he's just so. I mean, not as perfect as Carr, right? But he's still very good and able to ride smooth and not make those dumb mistakes. And another thing that really helps him is like when I watch Carr stream or Carter, right? Leclair, I don't think he streams, and neither does Colby. But like I feel like there's so many people in their call, like it almost reminds me of Payson in a sense, where like, I'm watching Carr race, especially in outdoors, right? He'll be up like 15, 20 seconds, and his call is telling him like, you got to run 2 seconds faster than 2nd place. Like you got to do this, you got to, and Shirley's just sitting there deafened by himself. So like it's kind of funny to see like it helps him at times, right? Because he can lock in, doesn't have to worry about it, and then sometimes it hurts him because he gets punted, he has no one spotting for him. So, it's a give and take. And I feel like he's also like a little bit of an outsider. Everyone else is kind of, I mean, you have the 3 district guys, and then Leclerc's by himself because he's French, and then Shirley's kind of off doing his own thing, right? He's on Jibber. He's the only one with Jibber connection, all that stuff. He's also not really, he doesn't really have any enemies, right? Like he has no beef with anyone in the top 5. Like he helps out Leclair, Colby, Carter, and Carr, like all with suspension. They message each other back and forth. So I feel like he has a good reputation with the guys. He doesn't have any beef with anyone. He's got no drama, and I feel like that is, a strength that he has of his right now.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we'll wrap this thing up by talking about what we think our top 5 is going to be. Just from the list of riders that we talked about today, we'll talk about how we think they're going to do in the championship standings. You want to go first, Chef?
Yeah, I'll give my top 5. So, I mean, obviously, I got to go Carter 1. I think that he's the best guy. I mean, he has the speed, he has the consistency. I mean, you watch Carter in the whoops. I mean, the guy is next level. Um, so I think it's got to be him. It's his championship to lose. He's going for number 5. Then I got Shirley second, just because I think that he kind of just stays around. He's like a version of Colby. It's just a little faster right now. Um, and then third, I got Carr. Um, I think Carr has all the speed and stuff, and like if he wins the title, I'm not gonna be surprised in the slightest. He's the fastest. But just based on last year and his inconsistency to miss mains, and I don't want to say he gives up, but like when he realizes, hey, I'm not really in the title anymore, he just doesn't like really try anymore. He just kind of tries the hot lap. So last year, I feel like if he would have just stayed in it, even after he missed 2 mains, like I mean, there's still a chance he comes back there based on all the bad races. Right. So then fourth, I'm gonna go with Leclair. Uh, I mean, if he gets second, third, not surprised either. I just think that he's the anomaly, right? Like, does he come out? What's his pace gonna be like? He doesn't race in the off season. You just got to see when he comes out, like what you get from Leclerc. Fourth is going to be Colby, right? He won the title, right? And now he's got the monkey off his back, right? Doesn't really, obviously he cares, but he doesn't really care to put in the time anymore. So it'll be interesting. Maybe that helps him. Maybe he, like late in the season, he can grind some more because he doesn't have that burnout effect. But yeah, I think that's my top 5. The only thing, I mean, that's interesting is 3 of these guys are teammates, right? So what happens, right, whenever they get a little bit into a title fight? Is there some drama in the rig, right? I feel like that could be really interesting as well. But I feel like my top 5, they could really any of the 5 could go anywhere, right? Except maybe Carter. I think Carter's a top 2 guy no matter what. But any of the other 4 could really be anywhere in that top 5. Just depends how they do early in the season, right? So I think the first 4 rounds are really the key, and after that, we'll see how the rest of it goes.
Yeah, for me, I say Carter's my title favorite as well. I think I think he's so competitive, and he's gonna be pissed that he didn't win last year. That he wants to show again that he's the fastest, that he's the best Supercross rider. And I'm just gonna put him slightly over Carr, just because I think Carr is locked in and focused and wants to win. And I think if the fastest guy is ready to do that, then that's a problem. But I think either of those 2 will win it. I think the other 3, I think they'll have a good year and they'll be in the hunt, but I don't think they'll come out as champion. For third, I'm gonna go Leclair. I think Leclair, like he's just like I said Carter or Carr were probably gonna win the title, but if Leclair won as well, I wouldn't be surprised because since 2021 he's been on the championship podium every year. And yeah, if he won Tampa instead of missing the main, he would have been your champion. So he was even close this year, just kind of under the radar. And yeah, I mean if he's been in 04 kind of this early as today, then who knows? Maybe he's feeling it. Maybe he's gonna be better today. He's gonna be primed up, or gonna be better this year. So yeah, I think I'm gonna put Leclair third. Fourth, I'll put Shirley. I just don't think. I don't know. There's no reason that Shirley isn't as good as the other guys. I think speed-wise, he's not. I don't think his race pace is as fast as Carter and Carr. But I'd say he's really similar to Leclair, in my opinion. Like, I think he'll get, 2 to 3 wins this year. Probably get a shitload of podiums. But I just think those top 2 are so good, I don't know if he'll be... I just don't think he'll be I don't think he'll walk away with the title. And then it's weird putting the defending champ in 5th. But yeah, I think Colby's 5th for just reasons of, the comp is really competitive. They're all really fast. And they've been playing and racing. So that's one thing that Colby doesn't have. He doesn't have the time on the game. And I just don't think he has the want to win, to defend the title. Like these guys all want to win it. So I think that's gonna be my top 5.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they could go any way. You never know with this game. Um, we don't have to deal with injuries in sim, but you still got to deal with a lot of just weird factors, right? Like server issues, right? Lag. I mean, I think it was the wildfires last year, right? Is why Carr missed.
Yeah, it was like the
Like,
wildfires or something like that.
I mean, anything could happen that could just ruin your season. So it'll just be so interesting to see. I think this is going to be probably the best season we've had in a long time. Because I mean, we got 5 championship title guys in this episode, and we got like 6 or 7 in the next that are just race-winning threats. Guys that have the speed. So I think that this is going to be just an unreal season.
Yeah, for sure. All right, with that, that's gonna be a wrap on this week's episode. Thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, we'll probably come out with 2 more episodes. We might do a 250 episode, probably maybe before A1, but we'll have to see. Depends on how much time I have. I have a lot of team edits to make, so we'll see how we're looking. But yeah, thank you guys for listening.